Hey everybody, welcome to a Connected Live on this Monday afternoon. I'm kind of excited. As you can see, the room is kind of dark because we're having some really nice storms right now, so I was really thrilled about that. And with me today, I don't know if you'll be able to see, are the two nappers, Thor and Baldur. They keep me company when I do Connected Lives. I just wanted to show you that the boys are in the office with me. The doctors are in. They're the serious therapists, not me. All right. Well, so why am I doing this Connected Live today? I just kind of wanted to address, COVID-19 is still going on. Numbers are spiking around the country, and people are having a hard time doing their health and their wellness for not only themselves, but for their animals. So I know at barns, it's a little bit of a different situation. Vets are coming out. It's easier to maintain social distancing with horses. But with dogs and cats, everybody's having to do curbside stuff. They can't go in with their pet. Hard time talking to the doctor face to face when, they're not allowed to do that. So, you've got to talk to the doctor over the phone. And as everybody knows, animal hospitals, like human hospitals, get a bit chaotic. So it's just easier when you're able to go into a room with someone rather than them bringing the animals in and the animals are stressed because their person isn't with them. And then you have to wait for the doctor to call you. And then you don't have the patient right in front of you, meaning your pet and the doctor's patient. And it just gets harder to do the wellness for the animals. So I'm very grateful that 20 years ago when I started my practice, I ended up doing way more distance work and then went to only distance work over 15 years ago because I have the credibility to do the work. So my work has been able to do chiropractic adjustments, do what acupuncture does. Clients have literally seen their dog's back or hips adjust. People have seen me adjust horses' pelvises without touching them. So many different things that I've been able to do with connected energy work, as well as all the other things that I can do with the work, which is animal communication. And I use emotional literacy with that, which is why my animal communication works a little bit different and has had the efficacy rate that a lot of people don't have, because I take a very integrative approach with holistic work that I do with the energy medicine that I do. So the reason I was bringing all this up is that a client of mine on a coast called me about their cat the other day. And their cat has had pancreatitis in the past, and I have helped them with that. And we were beginning to have some digestive issues again with this cat, some dry heaving, being lethargic, lots of things starting to go wrong. And the dry heaving, some throwing up, not chronic throwing up, but there had been just, every other day some dry heaving. These are all signs of obviously digestive distress, but then, what's the cause? And this is an indoor cat and a very well cared for cat. And so when I went in to do the session, the reason I was kind of just wanted to share with everyone today about it was, first of all, this cat is a lot like Baldur. This is an alpha cat. It's a cat that is completely there for their human being. This person travels with their cat, goes everywhere. The cat has been amazingly well traveled, better than most humans. And so this cat's used to calling the shots and deciding whether they want help or not. So when we started the session, the cat was all curled up in their blanket and just kind of energetically I could see, and I actually said to my client on the phone, man, is he giving me the stink eye? And she said, oh yeah, he's looking at the phone and his eyes are narrowed. He knows you're on the phone. He knows it's you. And I said, yeah. And she said, well, why is he so upset? And I said, well, he's the one used to fixing everything for everybody else, and he's just not in the mood for anybody to help him. I said he'd be this way at the vets too, is he'd be cantankerous because he thinks he can fix himself. Very much, the complicated issue that I had with Baldur, which a bunch of vets that do animal communication that are holistic vets, the top in their field, DVMs, I would go in and say, is it me? Have I lost my ability to communicate with animals because this guy's just not, having it? And the vets would laugh and they would say, even Gloria Weintraub, who's just a pioneer in holistic medicine, and I so respect her work. She's amazing. She's retired now, but she went through 50 remedies with Baldor, and he rejected all of them. And just was like, nope, nope. And she said, in all my years of practice, I've never met a dog this unwilling to be helped. He thinks he can fix it, and there's no way we're going to be able to help him until he's ready to be helped. And it took about 3 years for that to happen, and almost dying 3 times. But we got Baldor there. So when I started seeing these signs in this cat, I kind of went, okay. So the good news was the owner had been talking with me the week prior. And so I said, if you are going to the vet for a follow-up on the pancreatitis, then let's go ahead and run a blood panel and check that and check everything else. So when they called me today, they said things had progressed. There was more, being lethargic, more not being himself. And as I went into it, I said, you have the blood work in front of you? And she said, yeah. And I said, so all the other functions were fine? And she said, yes. She hadn't sent me the blood work. And I said, they said all the other functions were fine. I hadn't even started the session, and I picked up on him immediately because I'm also a medical intuitive. And I said, the liver's not right. I said, please check the liver numbers and give them a call. Put me on hold, call them, and let's see what they're saying about the liver. Because I just got that the gastrointestinal problem was having to do with an overabundance of toxicity, which I will explain in just a moment. And I knew that the liver and the digestion were both struggling. And she got back on the phone and she giggled, and she sent me a picture of the blood work and the numbers. And she said, you know what? They were just looking at the pancreatitis stuff, and the pancreas is fine. They didn't go over the rest of the numbers with me. And I said, interesting. I said, what'd they find just now when you kind of called them on it? And they said, the liver numbers are not right. And I went, wow, okay, that's exactly what I was getting, was the liver. And I said liver prior to her getting on the phone with the numbers, so that she knew that I already was picking up that there was a problem. And she said, you're right about the liver. So, I went back and I said, okay. And she, my client got a little upset, said, do we have what kind of toxicity problem? And I said, well, we're all under so much stress that I'm seeing a lot with people and animals, that they have an overabundance of toxicity in their systems, and it's due to stress. The body creates all kinds of toxins due to stress. Even if we're not in panic mode, just the stresses of COVID-19, the rioting, the looting, the civil unrest in this country, it's hitting everybody very, very hard. And especially very empathic people and empathic animals. Yes, animals are very empathic. This cat in particular is kind of one of those, Yoda type cats, and, kind of like Baldor, knows a lot of what's going on, picks up on everything as a sponge. Thor's very sensitive, but he's a different type of empath. Doesn't take it on and try to fix it. He kind of lets you work through things. So Thor is not quite as affected in the same way that Baldor gets affected with toxicity. So there was a common thread between Baldor and this cat, which is why Baldor, as I worked on the cat and talked with the owner, kept coming up, because he was telling me, he's just like me. He's just like me. And I said, okay. And this cat has also does not like any supplements and likes kibble. Yeah, not a lot of solutions here. Cat has refused raw, has refused cooked, has refused anything healthy. He likes his crack. It's good kibble, but it's still kibble. So the thing I needed to figure out was, okay, with energy work, I can do some detox. I can help his cells detox on the energetic level and force that to happen. But then I also know you have to support the emotional source. So I had to get at his attitude and his thinking process, that he has to fix himself. I had to help him through that. Then I also have to look at the physical and go, okay, I can do energetic and emotional, but then we're going to have to address on the physical. This is why my work, Connected Energy, and I'm not trying to plug myself, but I'm trying to educate those listening and those that see this afterwards. Any energy work cannot stand alone. Emotional work, psychological work cannot stand alone. physical medicine cannot stand alone. This is why we have such hit or miss with different forms of therapy, because each is siloed. And yes, there's more coming out, especially in recent years. You're starting to see that people are connecting emotional health to physical health. 20 years ago, there were MDs that already knew about this. There's a great book called Healing Back Pain, The Mind-Body Connection by Dr. Sarno. Yes, he's an MD. And he talks about everything from TMJ to knee problems to back problems. And if you can get that book, Healing Back Pain, The Mind-Body Connection by Dr. Sarno. I just want people to read an MD's perspective on the emotional connection to disease, physical disease. Because like my back is broken in 3 places and my hip was shattered in a horrible accident 15 years ago. And the doctors tell me I shouldn't be able to walk. So technically, based on just Western medicine standards, I should not be able to walk, much less do everything that I do or stay fit or anything. I was not amenable to the diagnosis, so I was going to say, no, that's not right. And so I took an integrative approach. This is way back before I started my practice. And so here I am walking and talking. Now, would I go into a rodeo and ride a bucking bronc? No. But do I still ride bareback and ride my young horses and walk my dogs and do yoga and stay fit and walk and do everything I want to do? Absolutely. And I'm 50 years old. I have no special lighting. I have a little bit of eye makeup on, okay, because I like to be fixed up. But in general, I mean, this is me at 50, and people will blink their eyes and go, you don't look 50, and I don't do Botox, I don't do anything crazy. So I'm a holistic healer who walks the talk, and so with this cat, coming back around to the cat, I had to help him on the energetic level detox, and this is the thing that I was talking about with his person. I said, if I had my druthers, the most reliable passive detox that I like, that is controversial, but I have personally seen it work. And there are other MDs and other holistic doctors that still endorse it. And I've seen it work for Balder beautifully. And what I mean by a passive detox is that this process gives you a detox without throwing you into a healing crisis. What is that, you ask, if you're not used to holistic terms? You can get flu-like symptoms, aches and pains, nausea, throwing up, because if you detox the body too fast, you just throw it into reaction. Kind of like an alcoholic going cold turkey. What do? They get the shakes, and their body is rapidly detoxing poison, so they get all these physical manifestations. And you can get the same type of detox effect just from stress toxins, food toxins if you're not eating right, all kinds of things. Sugar, if you're eating too much sugar and you're trying to detox and you have candida or fungus inside, too much fungus inside your body. So that can be a problem for humans, and it can be a problem for animals. So when Balder went through his crisis of having too much toxicity in his system, that the liver and the digestion were not functioning properly because the system was literally overwhelmed, what I did is I made Balder stand, and this is the detox method, in the ionic detox foot bath. And I put his back feet in there because, as Dr. McNeil explained to me, who's a holistic DVM, who's fabulous, if we just did the back feet, it's closer to where all the main organs are for detoxing the colon and all that. So it's kind of yanking everything out of the system through the feet, and the feet are where the biggest pores are. Balder started to get better because of that process. I have done it for myself when I had some problems, and it really helped me, as well as doing some other things. But for this cat, because cats are so sensitive, and this cat's already been through pancreatitis, you don't want to go heavy on herbal. You've really got to figure it out. So I'm sitting, as I talked to my client, I was like, I don't suppose we could get this kitty to put his back feet into an ionic detox foot bath. And there was a lot of giggling on both sides of the phone. And yeah, we decided that was a negative on that discussion, especially with the cat, especially this cat. And so I suggested bentonite clay. That can be passive if you do it right. But then, my client said to me, do you really think with the way he is, we can barely get probiotics into him. You think we're going to get clay into him? And I said, well, you said that he was, it's a house cat. He was looking for plants and was starting to dig through dirt and stuff. I said, all the clay is basically dirt with minerals, and it latches on to all the toxins in the body, but it has a dirt taste. And I said, you know what? He might surprise us. It's not herbal. It's dirt. He may want that. And I said, so let me do my session. Let me talk with him. I'm going to do the energetic, which works. By the way, connected energy is really great because it also, besides working on the frequencies of the cells to help with whatever problems are going on with that client, on the psychological level, the emotional level, it works on the subconscious. It's a subtle energy that goes to the subconscious and helps the individual, whether it's an animal or a person, internally process what they need to do differently to move forward without the negative payoffs of staying sick or staying attached to an emotional way of being that's unhealthy. So what does that mean? It means that the person or the animal has an internal aha moment and they adopt the positive behaviors, the positive thoughts from within, rather than me going na 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 na, or worse, peanut wah 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 wah, which is what people start to hear, or animals even start to hear when they just don't want to be coached anymore. So connected energy helps people on a subconscious level as well. And then I wanted to get a read on the clay. I can do muscle testing at a distance. I don't need a picture. I don't need anything. I don't need a video. I don't need to see the animal or the person. I can usually peg with pretty darn almost 100% accuracy what an animal needs. Dr. McNeil has seen me do it. She does muscle testing in person. And she said, you don't even need to do it in person, do you? And I said, no, I can feel it as if the animal or the person is in my own body, and I feel the reaction within my own body if a remedy is going to work or not. So when I was doing the clay, I literally could feel the taste of the clay in my mouth, and it was like it was him, and he was doing yum, 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 yum. And he said, I can do that. I like it. I actually like it. So I finished my 45 minutes. I have this wonderful moment with this cat who I absolutely adore. He's very cheeky, but I do adore him. He's very opinionated. And it's humbling because he's so wise and he's so smart. This is a very, very outstanding cat. And so I don't come in from an authoritative place like, you're going to do what I tell you to do, and I'm going to do energy work on you, and I'm going to get you. A lot of people do it that way. And I come from a place of, do you not feel good? And on a soul level, the individual that I'm working with will tell me yes or no or whatever. And I'll say, well, if you're not feeling well and you've come to me, or someone has come to me in your stead and asked me for help, what's the harm in letting me try? I promise it won't hurt. I promise it won't make you feel weird. I promise it won't make things worse. I said, what does it hurt for me to try? And the individual, whether it's human or other animal, has always said, okay, try. And I said, okay, thank you. I said, nobody's perfect. I said, but I'd like to try and help you, make you feel better. Have I worked on animals and people without permission? Absolutely. But I talk to them on a soul level and get that same permission. So it's very different from a lot of people's perspectives on that. I don't need the conscious human because I've actually worked on people who couldn't speak for themselves or even do debriefs with me, like people that were in institutions for violent behavior. I've worked through a sibling who was trying to help their sibling who was in an institution, and actually through my work we actually got them better to the point where they were released shortly after starting work with me, and to the doctor's chagrin they couldn't believe the improvement, even though they had said the person would never leave the facility. So I was very pleased about that. So back to the cat. We get off the phone. The cat started in his cocoon of a blanket, kind of balled up, like, again, you can tell by the cat's behaviors what was described to me, that there was distress in in the digestive system, but also, the numbers proved, thank God we had just gotten blood work less than a week ago. When I said liver, she went back and checked, and there it was. The liver numbers were not good, even though the vet hadn't addressed the liver numbers because they were just looking for the pancreas, right? So siloed, so narrow visioned on that. But that ends up happening unless you know what questions to ask. A lot of times vets will just stick, or doctors will stick to just the topic at hand and not look at the whole being and all the numbers to see if there's an indication of something else potentially wrong. So that's something that this vet missed that I caught, and we had the blood work to back it up. So he was curled up, showing distress, which had been something, his habit, and he was very lethargic. And by the end of the session, they were texting me photos. He was paws up, stretching out his little toes, and again showing me that intestinal and stomach issue was lessening during the session, because he was able to go on his belly up, saying, I feel better, because that's always an indication that the animal's not in distress. Very similar to Balder. When Balder's not feeling well, he curls up. When he's feeling better, he'll go tummy up and stretch his paws out and look at me like, I feel better. So we get off the phone. I said, well, let's just try it for 24 hours. If in 24 hours we can't get the clay into this cat, I said, then we'll try something else, probably more towards homeopathy, but hopefully the energetic work will help detox him as well. And lo and behold, I get a text around dinner time in the time zone that my client's in, and pictures of him going yum, 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 eating the clay right from the food. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, you don't mix the clay with food because it'll absorb everything and take it out of the system. This was the only way we were going to get it into his system, so that we could start to detox him. And thankfully, he had not lost any weight, so this cat was in very, very good shape. So we're going to do this for a couple of days and see how he does. But I already got a nice little note that the cat was already doing much better, that his energy today was significantly better. He was playful, communicative, not waking up in the middle of the night in distress. So it was really great news to get. And so this is just an example that if you have a pet or you're not able to get your wellness check-ins because of COVID-19, call me, call someone like me, or just call me, or email me, or go to my website, healertv.com. I can help you with whatever's going on with your pet or your large animal from the comfort of your own farm, without having a stranger come on, without putting them into distress by having to take them to a facility. If I feel we need blood work, I'll let you know. I often, because I have an analytical side too, because I went to law school, so I'm naturally half analytical as well as intuitive, I love, 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 love to have blood work prove my point. Because a lot of times people just can't wrap their minds that they're 5,000 miles away from me and I can pinpoint a problem. And even though this client has worked with me extensively, when I brought up the liver issue and they whipped out the numbers from the blood work and they called the vet to say, hey, were these numbers off? And the vet said, actually, we didn't talk to you about this, but yes, they are. And then she came back to me and said, you nailed it. The liver is also malfunctioning, it's low. And I said, okay, and I said, well, it's an indication of too much toxicity. So we have to figure out how to passively detoxify him to get him feeling better, because he was rejecting every single supplement for just gastric intestinal. He was rejecting everything for just pure liver. So he obviously had a toxicity level in the body that he just needed overall help. He had just come out of an infection, an ear infection. He'd also had been on antibiotics, so there's probably some fungal issues going on. And the infection may have come back, which is another thing I picked up on, and I recommended doing a little colloidal silver away from the clay, doing it everything appropriately the way you're supposed to do it. And so I look forward to hearing more from this client about how my little client is doing, her cat. And I hope you guys are having a great day. I just wanted to give this as an example of the work that I do because you don't have to go to a vet's office. If you need help right now and you're in one of the major cities that's on lockdown, we can do it via Facebook, we can do it via Zoom, we can do it just on the phone. I don't need pictures, I don't need videos. I can pick up on an animal or a person anywhere in the world. I've got clients in India, I have clients in Europe, I have clients in China, I have clients in Mexico, I have clients everywhere. So, and they've always said, especially the ones that have worked with me for 15 plus years, they'll be like, you're my go-to. You're my go-to before the vet, before the doctor, before anything. I would just rather check in with you first and see what you have to say before I drag myself through a battery of super expensive tests. So while I'm not inexpensive to work with, I'm not $4,000 in blood work. Now, if I need a general blood panel, that's going to be a lot less expensive than saying doing a barrage of gunshot tests because they don't know what they're looking for. But if I can say to you, let's take a look at the liver, or let's take a look at this or that, and things can be more targeted, you'll save money if we have to actually do tests at the vet. So that is my Connected Live for today. It's not only about promoting my work. I love to work. I work 7 days a week, and I don't get angry or frustrated or mad. I want to help as many animals and people with their health as possible. COVID-19 is just such a sign to get foundational medicine in alignment, and integrated. I work with an integrative medicine doctor. I can't find one in Oklahoma. Sorry for the laugh. Sorry for all my friends in Oklahoma, but I cannot find a really good qualified integrative doctor here. But my doctors in New Jersey are amazing. And he is able to work with me over Zoom and the phone. So when I have questions about my own health, and I notice everything about myself, I've gotten to the point where when my clients work with me, my human clients work with me regularly, they'll be like, I'll get calls going, I now know what supplements I need when I need it. I can go to the store and put my hand on something and go, that's not the right thing. And I said, yes, because everything is energy and everything is connected. And once you wake up to understanding vibration and understanding energy, because science agrees, matter is just frozen energy. And once you register it and learn that it can be registered, it's a fallacy. It's not magic. It's not woo-woo. It's pure science. You'll actually look at food and know what's going to agree with you and what's not. You don't even have to take all those allergy prick tests that they do. You'll begin to feel and go, ooh, that's not going to work for me. I can feel it. Or that food on this day is not going to work. It's not what my body's craving. And so my clients start to need me less and less, which is what a good healer, what a good doctor, what a good person who works in psychology should actually create circumstances to make their clients independent. So what my work does is wake people up. So not only do I help them with the specific issue that they have, whether it's for themselves, for a loved one, or for an animal companion, their own senses start to wake up. They start to register it, and they'll say to me, I heard my cat the other day. Is that normal? And I'm like, yeah, because we've been working together and you're registering it that it's real. You're seeing your cat respond to me over the phone. You're seeing the cat or the dog have bones adjust, that I can do that from a distance. My work can take over for acupuncture appointments and chiropractic appointments that you can't make but desperately need. And they'll see their dog's hips click into place while the dog's sleeping while I'm doing the session. And they said, if I didn't see that, I wouldn't have believed it. It's hard to believe because we're taught it's not real, and we're taught it's woo-woo or magic, and it's none of those things. It's just energy, and literally it's real science. It's not fake. So energy medicine is coming a long, long way. I know I'm probably one of those people that's kind of still on the cutting edge because I can do things that most people can't do. Even Reiki masters have told me, you're far beyond Reiki. And I said, yes, because Reiki is taught in a specific manner It is taught with limitations. It is not integrated. People are not taught psychology or behavior. They're not taught about the body. They're not taught about herbs and homeopathy. They're not taught about food. So if they're just doing energy work, it's not going to have the results that are 100%. It can't. It can't, because you're not addressing the two other levels of healing that need to be addressed, which is the emotional source of disease and the physical source of disease. You have to do all three. I started this 20 years ago before anybody else was doing it. Now there's a lot of people coming on to it. They don't talk about it in the way that I do. Thankfully, I trademarked connected energy because I knew it was going to start to catch on. The word connected in the past 5 years has really kind of taken off. I had that trademarked and bought those websites, those domain names, because I just knew what was going to happen. So again, I just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you to all my clients that support me. It's a full-time profession. I don't have 6 other jobs. A lot of people that do holistic healing or coaching or animal communication work, they have 5, 6, 7. They do other things than just this. I decided 20 years ago when I left corporate, this was either going to be done 100% and it was going to be sustainable, or I wasn't going to do it at all. So here I am 20 years later at 50 years old, doing what I love and doing it well, with a platinum reputation. So if you need help during COVID-19 for your own health, boosting your own health, boosting your own immune system, getting yourself feeling better inside and out, message me. If your pets need help, message me, because it might be a better option than going to the doctor. You can private message me if that's just easier, and then I can lead you to my website. So you can private message me on Facebook and I'll get back to you. Thanks again, everybody, for connecting on this Connected Live. And as you can see, I lost one napper. One napper decided to go, but there's the other napper. Balder stays with me, the old man. Everybody knows the big boy here. My big stubborn boy. I get the toughest cases, because I guess if I get the toughest cases as my animal companions, I'm all the more able to help other animal companions so much more effectively. So a lot of times people say to me, you know, when you have so many special needs animals that you rescue and care for, do you get exhausted? And I said, well, you know, sometimes it gets a little tough, but for every challenge that I have with my own tough situations that wouldn't be alive, Dr. McNeil said, I've helped you a little bit, but you already knew what you were doing. You just needed someone as a sounding board to help you. Anybody else, Balder would have been dead 3 times over. He would have never made it to 9. Your persistence in wanting to give him amazing quality of life so that he could stay longer is just, she said, I wish every pet owner was like this. And I said, well, he's family. And doesn't matter if you have kids. It doesn't matter if you have parents to take care of. If you take on an animal, that is another family member that you have to do right by. So I walk the talk, and I said a lot during this session. Please, Connected Live, please send this out to other friends. And if anybody has any questions, please put it in the comments. Thank you again for watching. Thank you always for watching, everybody. And please spread the news about this Connected Live. Please share it with as many people as possible. And I hope you guys are having a great, safe Monday. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.